Welcome to our first discussion episode. Today we will be talking about Bioshock.
Look, Mr. Bubbles, it's an angel.
As an introduction, I've played Bioshock many times, although it had been a few years.
Oh my god, my own fucking robot's the one that's shooting me, stupid bitch.
Mentioned you had just played it for your very first time a week ago.
This little fish looks like he just had his cherry popped.
I feel like you're pushed headfirst into it. That's how I feel, literally. You're just there and in it. And it's a slow burn to the storyline. Plane crash sounds horrifying. A plane crash in water sounds even more horrifying. Flooding, running through water, little emergency lights, beeping going on here and there. Holy shit.
Bioshock has probably one of the best openings of any game. It explains everything without being a video game.
The boundaries make sense in the parameters of the story.
There's literally a glass barrier keeping you alive in here.
Broken debris in front of it that you have no way to move. In the city area, and it's all these like crazy things are happening. Violent, it's dark, it's dim, and then you step into this hallway and it's all lit with water, sea life, and you can see this big city throughout the water as you're just walking to another place. I forget where I even am. Ocean, weird. I hated when it go pitch black and you can't see or do anything. Like I was like, what do I do? What do I do? Do I move? Like I probably spun in a little circle a few times. And then the lights come back on and I reorient.
This game has some really good lighting. It cuts to black. Shadows kind of hide and leave some stuff to the imagination.
Jeez.
Really like luminescent jellyfish that float around that you can see from those tunnels. I love them. And then you can see starfish, they're like suckered onto the side, and I love those. Which I'm kind of surprised there wasn't more water involved, I guess. To swim through this room to get to this area, and there's a shark in there, you know? I was like waiting for something like that. I'm kind of glad they didn't. I hate water levels in games. I always die and drowned a lot, and I died a lot in this game, okay? I cannot emphasize that enough.
I believe in no God, no invisible man in the sky. But there is something more powerful than each of us, a combination of our efforts, a great chain of industry that unites us.
If you played the game without picking up an audio log, I don't know how it would seem to you. I honestly don't know. I mean, when I first played this game back in the day, as a kid, I wanted just to shoot things. I probably didn't care about the audio logs that much. I would, pick them up, maybe they would autoplay or whatever, just push a button. But as a little kid that wants to shoot things, I don't want to listen to the story. You had to pause the game and play it and then sit there to listen to it. That would be so, it wouldn't be as fun.
Well, you can listen to it while you're playing.
Is there blood in the streets? Of course. Have some chosen to destroy themselves with careless splicing on the Nile?
The only interaction it might have, you can't hear if someone walks up on you. There was a time where someone popped up right behind me and I was listening to an audio track.
That happened to me a lot, actually.
Yeah.
You probably also noticed this, the audio logs are very tied in with the environment.
They were really good, and they definitely shared a lot of different stories from different perspectives, especially with that doctor level. That one stuck out the most with me because you were hearing this girl who got botched and she's crying and talking about, like, I don't know why someone would do this to me.
Scalpel?
Excuse me?
Scalpel.
Doctor, she's not booked for a facelift.
Let's just come in here.
Doctor, stop cutting. Doctor, stop cutting. Get me the chief of surgery. Get me the chief of surgery now!
Later on, you get to the doctor and he's, I don't know why people need 2 eyeballs. Oh. That's why she's botched. I'm scared. Derangement in this poor lady definitely brings you into that world and story a lot more. But without that, the story's not even there if I didn't listen to it.
You alright? It was time somebody took care of that sick bastard.
Screw you! Screw all you fucking doubters! Here's what I say to all of you!
The game gives you like 7 or 8 different guns. Even in between those guns have different ammo types.
Shocking shotguns were pretty good. Those were pretty good. But they were hard to come by.
A lot of management just within the gun system. Not overly complicated. Each gun is introduced in a very cool way.
Maybe it is an option, I don't know. I wish I could change the order of my guns.
The shotgun that you get presented early on, that's in that famous area. So you don't ever have to pick it up. And if you never pick it up, you never even see that scene. You could actually miss it. Also a level where you deposit all your weapons. And you have to go in and you can only use plasmids, you have to hack some things, and it's kind of early on. That also changed my order of my weapons, because wrench was number 1 and eventually wrench was number 2. It's not a set order, it's like the order that you pick them up in.
Weird.
And I don't know if you can change it. That might just be us not knowing.
Are you as good as my daddy, mister? Not if you don't visit the Gatherer's Garden, you aren't.
Tonics, and I kept forgetting that. Even when I was watching the developers interview, they even forgot what they were called. Those are sort of RPG mechanics that let you customize your character, focus your power in a certain way. What tonics did you like and what did you pick?
I was never sure which ones were the best. It felt like electricity was a necessity. And I don't know how I could have gone through it if I couldn't pause the person for a second and like reload as quick as possible, which is slow.
Yeah.
I used one of the ones that was ups my electricity damage, so I thought they'd start doing more, but it still didn't. It just stopped them. Now, towards the end, I did start adding fire in. Oh, like fire does decent damage, where electricity just stops them. So I almost always had electricity, telekinesis, big boom, or maybe it's called sonic boom. It's the one where you can go and you can yeet
like
all the people.
Dragon shout.
There were times where I would get cornered and it'd be so stressful that I'd used that. I want to say I had the Big Daddy one.
Hypnotized Big Daddy.
Yeah.
That was a good
Plus.
one. This is getting really exciting because we're talking about all the plasmids. You can beat this game in so many different ways, which is why I love it.
It's like when you complete something in the game, it really makes you feel like, oh, I did it. I completed something. Heck yeah, the struggle was worth it. I died 50 times for the trees.
Is that you?
I actually had a funny moment. So one of the guys spawns and he runs away and he throws grenades. The music's playing, it's getting all intense.
Protect your little sister, there's a maniac.
He was a lout, but
That was Rodriguez?
vigorous. Get the photo before
He just killed himself. I didn't even know what was going on. I was legitimately confused. He just killed himself.
That's how OP fire is. He lit himself on fire.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I burned one of them to death too.
Darling, just close your eyes and hope it's over quickly.
There's so many times where I thought I was going the correct way, but I wasn't.
As a game developer, you don't want your players to keep pausing the game.
Definitely paused it sometimes when I would get frustrated with dying.
Like I never felt before.
The game also doesn't have a mini-map. Explore the world a little bit. It's not going to say just rush to this thing and ignore all the side doors. The side doors are glowing for a reason, and they have little fun treasures in them.
The map is more useful when you realize that it does mark where you've been and where you haven't been. I had to use the map during the first few levels. It was a lot of literally there's circles, just circles. The environment feels so big. A lot of kind of elaborate hallways to where it's like you're going into a new room, into a new area, but it's still just this one swoop. So I would end up stuck in these loops of going in the same spot, and it's because I'm missing the staircase right to the left of something.
A lot of the maps are actually very, very similar. And even the quests themselves within the maps are almost the same. At the very beginning of the level, you're pretty much at the end of the level too. The exit's right there, you can freaking see it. It's actually pretty clever. Where you just have to go around and you're about to go in, and it shuts and the alarms go off and it's like, you need the key, blah, blah, blah. The game does that a lot. So just like how we're talking about the gameplay aspects and we're going to wait until we talk about the story, that is actually sort of fitting for how the game itself was designed. These game developers, they designed the game for console. They originally made lots of PC games where there's lots of menus and stat menus and character menus. Intentionally moved that back and go, you know what? If the guy is icy, you can just burn him and you know that it will do more damage. The mechanics and the system more within the world. That's one of the best things I love about this game. They love the world. They treat the world so realistic. And even though there's magical elements and crazy things going on, all the bad guys are humans. There's no demon from another dimension. It's all humans.
Well,
they're messed up.
Ish. Okay, because humans cannot crawl on the ceiling. And there are characters that can crawl on the damn ceiling. If you can spot them, which is the hardest part, because I always forget to look up, especially because this game revolves around looting. I'm looking down for stuff all the time. And then, like, if you can spot them up at the ceiling, you can do decent damage before they hit the ground.
The ones that crawl are called spider splicers. And I don't know the in-game lore why they can crawl on the ceiling.
I'm sure that in-game there's somewhere where you can find all the weaknesses, but I didn't know where. Okay, I'm taking all these pictures and it'll tell me, and the next time I fight that guy, I can't remember.
The pictures tell you the weakness.
Oh, I took pictures of a ton of crap and a ton of people a ton of times. But I need to be able to, I need a photo album. I need to go back and see the weaknesses because I cannot remember. So I just went at them with whatever I had, whatever I felt like fighting with, you know?
Yeah. If you take pictures of the little sisters, you permanently get a buff to both your health and Eve.
Oh my God. If I would have known this, are you kidding me?
And even if the little sister goes in the vent and comes back out, it counts as a new little sister, so you can keep taking pictures. I'm pretty sure if you wanted to, you could max it out really early on the level you get the camera, if you really wanted to rush it.
Oh my gosh. That would have been so good to know. Since we're talking about those two characters, I'm going to tell you they were both my favorite and my least favorite.
Why were they your favorite?
One, they look awesome. They are creepy and cute, and that is right up my alley, and it's just, I loved it. Some of the mechanics that they added for like the realism of it, the wobbling, you could hear him thudding. You probably didn't deal with this, but it vibrates your controller with his steps. And so it like was very immersive in that fact, that the camera's shaking like everything with his like steps when he's real close. But I really like the fact that you could like go around them too. You didn't have to always fight them. They could just be passive. You could just go around them, you know, just kind of let them do their thing, especially if you've already gotten the sisters you need. I hated them because they killed me over and over and over and over and over and over. They killed me more than probably anything else.
Oh yeah, they're easily the hardest mob in the game. They're harder than the final boss.
No, I honestly think they're harder than the final boss. Like, I struggled with them so much.
It really is the draw of the game. If you look at the box part, it's a giant Big Daddy.
Yeah, which I also didn't know. I thought I was going to be...
You thought you were going to be the Big
I thought that was
Daddy.
going to be me.
So let's talk about some of the fun facts about the Big Daddy design.
Yes, please.
How do we get the players to actually fight the Big Daddy? Because we have made this really cool boss enemy. We love the systems and the guns and the traps and all those cool things. How do we get the players to actually fight the enemies? We need an incentive for the Big Daddy. So they came up with Adam, which is like that upgrade system where you can upgrade your health and your Eve, and you can get more plasmids or upgrade your plasmids. Yeah. Okay, if you kill the Big Daddy, you get Adam. What was the original design before they had invented the little sisters? What were the Big Daddies protecting?
Oh, am I gonna guess? A rat.
Okay, close. Close. It was actually a sea slug.
Ah, dang, I was thinking maybe it was a sea animal, but I couldn't think of one that they could have out of the water.
First of all, little fucking slugs on the ground, nobody can see them.
Yeah, oh, that's so true. That's so true. They would just get walked over and forgotten.
So one of the original designs of the Big Daddy was actually the slug was attached to the Big Daddy. And the Big Daddy was mechanical, but also had sort of a biological element.
Yeah.
Like sort of like body horror where there's like veins and
cool
tubes
idea.
And stuff coming out of them.
I think that's cool because that's what a lot of aquatic sea life does, where the male will literally just attach to the female and become part of her. And then he just basically, she supplies the nutrients for him and he supplies the sperm when she needs it.
Oh, okay.
And it'll happen with, like, there's this one fish where the woman fish is really big and it's a little tiny guy that comes up and just like a biosymmetric thing.
They decided to get rid of the sea slug idea, and even the developers themselves say that was such a dumb idea. But they had to start somewhere, right? Sea slugs have Adam, okay? Now, the sea slugs, when they're infused in a host, specifically little girls, they produce up to 20 times the amount of Adam. So that is sort of the in-game lore explanation why they even say this in another audio log. It only works on little sisters or only little girls. Why aren't there little boys, for example, that do it?
Yeah, wait.
So that's basically, there's a fucking in-game explanation for lots of mechanics. Those gas canisters, those can pretty much like one-shot Big Daddies. If a Big Daddy is standing on 2 or 3 of those gas canisters, bait an enemy turret to shoot me or shoot a rocket at me, and that rocket would hit the Big Daddy, or it would hit near the Big Daddy and it would blow up and kill him immediately.
There's so many tips and tricks. If I played it again, I think I would definitely go a lot more fire. Because I think that it was probably more useful.
Did not know this was a thing. That's cool.
Gonna miss the details. This game is very replayable.
Oh, I would love to replay this game someday. Primarily because of the confusion I felt in the first 2 levels, how much I messed up on looting. I don't think I explored the whole level, didn't understand some of the mechanics that you need to do in the game. I was having kind of a hard time in the very beginning.
You might see that as a negative, but I actually find that as a success for the game developers. They wanted you to feel like you're struggling. Oh shit, I'm thrown in this crazy situation. I barely have any ammo.
I thought it was so difficult. I died probably over 100 times. Easy. One mechanic I thoroughly appreciate is they don't regain their health when you come back. The characters' Big Daddies, you can go back to them and they'll still be low health, even after you died and respawned and ran all the way back to them. That is the only thing that I think saved me, because if they got their health back, I wouldn't be here and we would have to restart on easy, for sure. For sure.
Bioshock is a game that is amazingly carried by its audio, its storytelling, its lighting. It's very smoke and mirrors in the best way possible, where it's using all the things it has available to it as a video game and present it in a way that is more than a video game. There's female characters that you see, but they're behind a glass. You can't see them. They're even shadowed sometimes. The enemy models, because they didn't have time to do all these crazy details and facial things and all the stuff they can do nowadays. Nowadays, the facial graphics are crazy. Yeah. In this game, they barely show faces. There's a reason that enemies have masks. There's a reason that they're in the dark. Developers working with a limited budget, and you don't want to show the monster all the time. You kind of want it to be in the shadows. And I think that they did that very effectively.
The treat right out of reach. The whole game, you're almost about to meet someone who's on your side that you're working with. And you almost always get stopped by somewhere where you can see them. They can't seem to see you or aren't aware you're there yet. And then something happens to them that you can't help or stop. And it is horrible. And it happens several times in this game. Kind of how life is. Sometimes you see things happen and see things that people you care about are going through and you can't do anything about it. You're restricted by things out of your control. But it did keep you like wanting to go, because like I kept thinking like maybe I'll actually reach the next one, you know, you keep trying. Hopefully get your ally basically through the game.
Could you possibly think I would meet with my public now when I'm preparing? Unbelievable.
So Mia, as a player who has discovered Bioshock almost 20 years after it came out, would you recommend it to somebody else?
I would definitely recommend this to somebody, but I would not recommend it to a brand new player. It was a struggle, but it was good. It was a well worth it struggle. Lots of twists and turns, and it keeps you guessing a lot. and it keeps you working towards a goal like the whole game. There's always a new goal that seems like life or death.
100% recommend this game to anybody. I think it's an amazing game. It was designed for controllers. You can play on a controller. You can play on mouse and keyboard like me. I've bought in this game many times. I've bought in multiple copies of this game. I love it so much. You can find it on sale, bundled in with Bioshock 2 and Bioshock Infinite lots of the times for 10, 20 bucks. For me, it's a no-brainer. Definitely get this game. Definitely try it out. Especially if you like horror games, if you like games with mysterious and thrilling scenarios.
Action.
And it's a great action game. 10 out of 10.
Heck yeah. Go play it.
With that being said, do you want to get into spoilers and get into the storyline?
Yes, I definitely do. So,
Okay.
spoilers ahead. Stop it if you want to play and experience it yourself without us telling you what could happen. I guess.
Definitely play it and then come back and watch the rest of this video.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you survived that plane crash, but I've never been one to question Providence. I'm Atlas, and I aim to keep you alive.
Atlas, who is a Greek mythological creature who has the world on his shoulders, right?
He holds the world up.
Atlas Shrugged is a famous / infamous book, depending on how you look at it. That was also an Ayn Rand book, all about objectivism, all about how individualism is the best thing, being selfish is actually awesome. Even one of my favorite bands, Rush, has a song called Anthem. The lyrics by Neil Peart, one of the greatest drummers of all time. He himself was influenced by Ayn Rand's individualistic philosophy. One of the lyrics is, you were taught that selfishness was wrong. This is not some crazy Andrew Ryan, only a video game person could believe this crazy philosophy. This is real life people that you know, people that you look up to, probably have been influenced by Atlas Shrugged, or Fountainhead is another book that Ayn Rand specifically has been referenced in the Bioshocks.
Why are you so resistant to the traditional methods of separating a man from his soul? You're not CIA, are you? You belong to Atlas, the one roach I can't seem to exterminate.
Andrew Ryan speaks very highly of himself. He talks in a way that he's so important, he knows everything, and all of his great ideas are centered in some ideological framework that can't be fucking reasoned with and are pure. He speaks like a video game character. That's actually quite funny and hilarious. Ayn Rand, who's supposed to be a philosopher, is basically treated as a caricature in this video game, which I think is absolutely hilarious.
Moira. Patrick. Ain't that just like Ryan?
They had to basically completely recast it, and not just recast but rewrite it too. And this was, I believe, like, years into development. This game took 12 years to make. From the beginning ideas to the play test to the demos to all the iterations. These things take a long freaking time to make. So they ended up hiring an actual Irish person to do this Irish character, and people actually even complained that the Irish accent wasn't real. So people will nitpick.
Oh my gosh.
People will nitpick fucking everything. He has an Irish accent, and then he of course switches to the more like American accent once he becomes like more evil and reveals his true form.
You love to hate him.
Go get stepped on by a big daddy, would you kindly?
I don't like it.
The beginning of the game, right off the bat, right after you get off the plane and you absorb and you see Andrew Ryan's giant freaking bronze bust staring at you, and it says, no gods, no kings, only man. Ironically, as this giant fucking man is looking at you like he is the owner of this place, right? Ayn Rand has a huge influence in both personal philosophy, but specifically their political philosophy. It was very political. You can see from the very beginning, it's saying, Washington is this and the Soviets did this. Andrew Ryan has a very specific ideology that he promotes. Andrew Ryan as a character holds that ideology to the very end. Even to his last breath, he does not waver on his ideology. Human selfishness is actually a good and virtuous thing. It's basically a theory that if everybody's selfish, everybody will benefit, because everybody's trying to work for themselves. Competition is not necessarily a bad thing, it's actually a really good thing. And now Andrew Ryan also has a lot of critics on anybody that's below him. From the very beginning and through all Rapture, there's, oh, you're the parasite. He uses the term parasite, and that's actually even in modern vernacular of the parasite is the freeloader who isn't being industrious, who isn't being capitalistic.
But look around. It's a regular convention of worms in here. They all had mothers, fathers, people who loved them, they got married, got terrorized. What makes you think you're any different?
Andrew Ryan's Rapture is intentionally, there is no government to regulate the economy. So the economy can actually go in any directions. And I think it's quite ironic and fitting that Andrew Ryan's own downfall is because he did not want any rules, he did not want any regulation. So somebody else who also was playing by the same rules took over his city and beat him by his own game.
I didn't pick up on that at all. I'm so confused because for a while in the story, I thought I was a robot.
You thought you were a robot?
I thought I was a robot.
Why did you think you were a robot?
Because they were saying that I was created, I have voice commands and stuff like that. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like some robot or something. Or like maybe like a bionic kind of thing. We were created and our memories are created apparently. And we have a voice command that you learn about. And so it generally confused me because for a little bit I thought I was a robot or bionic in some form.
Fontaine gives a such-long history for child that he wants to imprint into child's head. Kid, not a person. A jukebox, ready to play whatever tune Fontaine wants to hear.
I mean, actually, the word robot, I believe, is Slavic in origin, and I even want to say it means, to some extent, a slave.
Yeah, I think so.
Which you see from literally the very first image of the character. You see his wrist and the little chain link. He's the slave. You see that when you reload the gun. You see that literally the whole game.
Yeah, even like a cutscene at the end.
There is definitely like a theme of you don't really have control. You're forced down this path based off of other men's will. And ironically, where Andrew Ryan is saying, you know, a man is free, a slave obeys. He himself is a slave to his own ideology. He's so unbudging, he loses his whole city because he could not be flexible, or however else you want to interpret it, in the management of Rapture.
Is there blood in the streets? Of course. Have some chosen to destroy themselves with careless splicing on the Nile? But I will make no proclamations. I will dictate no laws. The great chain moves slowly, but with wisdom. It is our impatience that invites in the parasite of big government. And once you've invited it in, it will never stop feeding on the body of the city.
I will say, because a lot of his story is more in the beginning of the levels, because I was trying to figure out the game and I was struggling and stuff, I don't think the story in the beginning stuck with me. I don't remember him being as important as Atlas or whatever his stupid name is.
The first half of the game, up until where you kill Ryan, is basically a perfect 10 out of 10. Great storyline, great experience. I understand everything. Once the Atlas turns into Fontaine and that second half, I think it's still pretty good, but it becomes a lot more video gamey. Bad villain, he gets juiced up at the end, kind of like a cheesy boss fight. Where literally Andrew Ryan, he doesn't feel like a boss fight because you can't even control when you kill him. You're watching a cutscene the whole time.
Yeah, he makes us kill him.
Why do you think he did that?
I don't know. The only thing I could think of was to prove a point to us. I thought maybe at some point the game was going to give me the option to fight the control or something, you know, like don't hit him, fight to not hit him, hit A, you know, something like that. Like, but no, you just freaking beat him to death with a freaking like...
With a golf club.
Yeah, a golf club, thank you. With a golf club. And it's like kind of slow and awkward and he keeps asking you to do it with his like voice command thing.
It's very Shakespearean.
It's pretty fucked up.
Where he knows he's basically doomed. He knows that he's been defeated. He knows that all of his defenses have been breached. And yet he is still he gives speeches and monologues the whole time, especially at the end. He's like, my power is not in steel and fire, even though you're literally in a fucking volcano, and the level is called Hephaestus, which is a volcano god in Greek mythology. Lots of Greek references.
I didn't know that.
Everywhere. It's not in steel and fire, it's in his intellect. He thinks his intellect is above everybody else, and that's why he's the best.
He decided he was going to be a martyr. Make himself out to be that. That's the only thing I could think of, was he was trying to send a message. Because he knew he was going to die either way. So he had to make it as fucked up as possible so I would learn something. I don't know. It was pretty brutal. I love horror movies. And I've watched a horror movie that had a murder scene like that. And it's rough to sit through. And then to sit through it in first person is also pretty rough. Feels a bit more close. I'm in that experience. Which is what the game wanted, you know? Like, kudos to them. They really made me feel uncomfortable and a bit sick. It's not what I wanted to do as a character, not what I would have chosen. But again, that's the point of it. I had no choice. I had no control. And it was really good. Really good.
I think it's such a amazing, effective moment because the game is all about tricking you the whole time. It's very misleading. It will show one thing and then it turns out another thing is true. It does that a lot. Specifically with the cutscene of Andrew Ryan, you've been led to believe the whole game that you can choose to save the little sisters. You can choose to not even fight the big daddies. You can choose the gun and the plasmids that you do things with. The game actually offers a lot of agency as sort of a misdirect. Very clever. The game mechanics are sort of a misdirect to the story, where the story is literally saying, nah, it doesn't matter what you do. It's all going to end up the same way. I think that's fucking genius, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons that this game is held up so well. Philosophy of gaming itself. It's one of the most standout moments I've ever had of any game.
Obey!
That's pretty much exactly the halfway part of the game. That was my favorite half, but you said that you are definitely more interested and more invested in the second half, especially when Atlas reveals his betrayal.
Yeah, when he betrays you. There's a scene towards the beginning where you go and you think you're going to get to his family. That is what we're trying to do in the beginning, is save this man's family. Like, I'm going to try to help save your wife and children. Why wouldn't I?
He's in the same position as the player character, as far as we know.
Yeah, like, we're both screwed here, buddy. Yeah, let me help you out. You help me out. We get out of here. And then he betrays you. From the perspective of the player, his family blew up in front of you and got murdered. There's a piece of glass. You can see it all happen. You can't do anything. Can't stop it. Can't help it. So I just remember being devastated. I felt so bad. And they even had him crying and weeping in the audio and really sold it to me. And I was like, man, let me get to my buddy. The whole time I just kept thinking, this is my buddy. Turns out he's not. He's not at all.
Great example of the great misdirection that the game plays.
Yeah.
It really sets Andrew Ryan up. I remember this very notably when I first played it. Like, Andrew Ryan was the main bad guy. Like,
he's
that's
like
who you wanted to kill. Like, he's like the evil Walt Disney.
Like some dictator.
He's some crazy dictator who wants to control everything. If we're going to be honest, like, Frank Fontaine is actually the ultimate villain. He's like a Jeff Bezos guy. He even looks like fucking Jeff Bezos. He's like this crazy bald guy. This whole Adam thing that he's been controlling, and he's in charge of the little sisters. He's in charge of these fucked up things. He is responsible for the whole plasmid bullshit, how it got out of control.
But he's been like stockpiling it. That's what we were stopping. Gonna like inject all of it to become overly powerful.
No, that was like end of the video game like boss moment. He wanted to replace Andrew Ryan and control the whole city. And he was doing that through economic means. Now, he was doing this through a black market, but because of Rapture, there is no black market. There's no government. Andrew Ryan is an absolute hypocrite because he does consider certain things smuggling. There's a whole thing about smuggling, which...
Yeah, they're all the smuggler crates.
Which is... Andrew Ryan's company. He's the one who built this place, and he's the one who ran it into the ground. Nobody knows exactly
it's like
what happened.
Jesus.
Maybe he went mad. Maybe the power got to him. Maybe he just decided he didn't like people.
Fontaine is basically trying to cheat the system, right? And smuggle things in. I think that's how they get the guns in the city. Because who the fuck would bring a gun underwater where you could just shoot the That's like,
like
a little
an airplane.
That's like a plot hole, so you can't think about it too much.
And there's
but it's
explosions in these buildings.
They're not supposed to be here.
Yeah. One, it's not even that they smuggled in guns. They smuggled in the equipment to make stuff for guns, such as ammo. I was more devastated by the fact that he betrayed me. And then once we find out he's evil, I kept being like, was there even a family? Was I sad and devastated over nothing?
He says he made it all up. He taunts you.
Does he? Oh my gosh.
Maybe one day I'll get a family, because the suckers love that.
Oh.
I'm going to use every loophole and advantage I can. I'll even rename myself. I'll rebrand myself.
The ending, it feels so satisfying on the good ending that I got, because the whole time he was the one trying to convince me to kill the little girls.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, what's wrong with you? You want to be weak? Taunting you, trying to make you feel bad for not choosing the tough option. And then the fact that the very ending, all the little girls come out of the vent and fucking kill him for me. And then it goes into this happy, wholesome ending. I was like, what? I didn't expect that at all. I thought that was great.
So what Florida attraction was an inspiration for Ryan's sort of themed levels?
Disney World? Is that?
It is, actually, yeah.
I'm thinking about Epcot.
I always thought of Andrew Ryan as sort of like a Walt Disney. He has that little mustache, and he kind of talks about these grand ideas about the future. I think Arcadia, the garden level, and Cohen's theater level. Those are my two favorite levels. They're so awesome. They're so jam-packed with detail. There's all these little sprawling mazes. They have really good motivation for the character to keep exploring.
The regrowth scene is so freaking cool. The trees grow back and you're like, oh, that's cool. But then they show vines growing down onto the window and stuff. And I thought that was a really cool detail. I love the thought of trying to save the trees, but the environment was also just really fun. The details and the visuals were amazing in that level. The theater level was really good, but like you said, there was a lot of mazes in it. And that level specifically, I got so lost in.
It's a game I still get lost in, even after playing it many times. The downside to that is you might miss things. The art level, where if you turned all the people into sculptures. The developers invented a backstory for literally every single sculpture. There's even this really disturbing room that you walk into very early on, and there's even a little girl that's freaking frozen, and this family is at the table. That's just one example of dozens of these cool people in this world that have backstories. There's a jukebox playing "How Much Is That Doggy in the Window?" It's this very happy, cheesy song with probably one of the most scary parts of the game. Go down this creepy basement, it's kind of flooded, and there's a plasmid in the corner. You have to kind of walk through the water, you're kind of going slow.
Yeah.
You get the plasmid, you turn around, and oh my god, there's new statues in the way. You're like, oh fuck, some of these guys are gonna be real. And they do attack you.
I start just shooting when I
You just start fucking blasting.
Yeah, I can't. I'm so scared.
There's a level right before you get to the final boss. It's not even a level. I hate to even call it a level, because it's sort of you just escort the little sister and you walk down a very narrow hallway. It's completely different than the rest of the game, where the rest of the game is more open-ended. You have options and decisions.
Aren't you so fucking slow? Hurry the hell up.
Hurry! Hurry, Mr. Bubbles!
The last level of the game sort of mirrors the first level of the game. You're just sort of walking a straight path and watching this movie. I want to say that might have actually been the zoo level, or they were trying to think of that being the zoo level, which I think would have been so cool, because you have the tree level, like we mentioned, and you have the fish level. You have all these cool things. It's
That would have been really
how does this exist underwater? They were supposed to do a zoo level.
Not even a zoo, but a farm.
Oh, a farm.
A farm would have made really good, you're saving the cows and chickens.
Especially on the end of the game, it seems like they're really stretching it out. They had a really good, solid first game. 10 out of 10. The first half is 10 out of 10. The second half is also really good. It doesn't capture some of the same moments for me.
Polish? Definitely lack of polish. This is bullshit. That area where the fucking Big Daddy was sitting on the fucking security cam. it wasn't getting any aggro. You know, little moments like that. Just, this is definitely more of a glitchy, shitty level. I'm just gonna say it's a shitty level. Nobody likes this level. We skipped this level.
The parts I like least about the last part of the game is you can't even tell that you're underwater half the time. Especially Mercury Heights, which is like the apartment complex area. It's super depressing. It's super sad. The last levels are so depressing. You have the freaking little girl's orphanage. There's like an autopsy room in the fucking orphanage.
Oh, I did I was gonna say, I liked the orphanage.
It's a cool level, but like it gets really dark.
Literally the dumbest thing he could have done. Okay, what a fucker. He did that too. God damn it. Now I'm mad. Now I'm pissed. Now bitches are gonna burn.
I don't know if there are alternate endings. I've only played this once. There are some things where you have a bit of a decision. So I wondered like if those little decisions did actually change things.
There is a good ending and a bad ending. As far
I
as
got the good ending.
the way that you get the bad and good endings is how you deal with the little sisters. Now I did a playthrough where I just harvested all the little sisters. What do you get from harvesting the atom?
Upgrades.
And in fact, you actually get more upgrades if you pick the good path, because if you pick the good path, you get like Hypnotized Big Daddy Plasmid. You don't get that at all if you harvest the little girls. You get no bonuses besides Adam.
And and they give you gifts of Adam too. Save all the little girls in the level. You get a little teddy bear gift. And that gift has like little things in it, ammo and stuff like that, but they always give you like 200 Adam just for saving them. I rescued all of them.
I just want my teddy bear. No, that's my teddy bear.
Notably, there is an achievement for saving all the little sisters.
Not killing one?
There is no achievement for killing all of them. The game never encourages you to do it. The game never pushes you in that direction.
So what is the bad ending?
It's similar to the good ending where the bathysphere rises to the ocean, and I think Tenenbaum even is narrating it. Instead of saying, "You're such a good guy, we love you," she's saying, "You're fucking evil." You see spider splicers, the ones with the hooks. They'd come jumping out of the bathysphere. They land on a submarine. They kill the submarine people on board, and it reveals a nuclear sub. So it's basically saying, if you're not a good guy, you're going to cause nuclear freaking war. So yeah, it's a pretty dark, depressing, bleak ending. The developers themselves even sort of laughed at crazy contrast between a nice guy or nuclear war.
Yeah.
Is sort of the two endings. I like bad endings in games. I don't necessarily like binary endings in games, which just has a binary ending. It's like we both beat the game in the same way, and we just saw a different cutscene.
Yeah.
Versus there's some games where the bad ending is, hey, you can't even play the second and third to last levels because you didn't get the good ending. The good ending actually keeps you going in the game. It doesn't just change the cutscene. Every time I play this game, I always save the little sisters. It always feels better. It's always nicer. It makes you feel sort of sick when you kill them in the evil version.
Oh, I couldn't imagine the like animation they do for
that. It's not super graphic, but you know what's going on, especially if you know the audio logs and you understand how the splicers get their atom. They're not letting the fucking little sisters go, right? You become a splicer if you do that.
Yeah, this guy's a sick fucking bastard. Tell you what.
The good ending is very sweet. You know, you get to see these little girls and they give them different life paths, and then at the end you see the old hand and all the girls are like grown female hands reaching out to his, and that sold me on the game was that the ending made me feel good, felt complete.
This is the end. What was your reward? You never said, but I think I know. A family.
Oh guys, I did it.
There's supposed to be a third Big Daddy though.
What?
That third Big Daddy did not get completed in time, but they did put that third Big Daddy into Bioshock 2.
What?
If you want to see what the third Big Daddy looks like, check out the Bioshock 2 episode.
I don't know, maybe we should play the second one.